If you're one of the many people who fell in love with Heartstopper and Nick and Charlie's story, then regardless of what age you are or your sexual orientation, there are lots of things that the show can teach us about better mental health, even if it's your first time watching Heartstopper. So in this video, I'm sharing 5 mental health lessons from Heartstopper, and is this just a thinly veiled excuse to talk about Heartstopper because I enjoyed it so much? Probably, but I will explain why it meant so much to me at the end of the video. Just quickly, if you're new here, hi, I'm Jeremy Godwin, and I talk about looking after your mental health, drawing on both quality research and my own experiences of learning to live with anxiety and depression. So, you might have heard about Heartstopper. It's a fantastic British series on Netflix that tells stories about a group of LGBTQIA+ students at high school. So in Heartstopper, Nick and Charlie are a young couple experiencing love for the first time, and while it's actually a really heartwarming love story, there are also lots of positive messages about mental health. So today I want to share 5 of them that really stood out to me after I just rewatched the show for a second time. Starting with, it takes time to figure out who you are. And on top of that, who you are today is not necessarily who you will be tomorrow, and that's okay. We all grow and evolve from one day to the next. And it's okay to take your time figuring things out. Look, my view on the world is this. If you do no harm, are kind, and give more than you take, then you're a pretty great person, and it really doesn't matter what other people think. Opinions are like Instagram accounts. Everyone's got them, and most of them are full of rubbish. Speaking of, my next point is, bullying sucks, but you will be okay. Some people are just bullies. That's not a you problem, that's a them problem. The fact is that some people are just incredibly judgmental of others and try to force their view of how everyone should look and act. Do you know what those people are? Miserable. Because if you think that everyone in the world should just be one specific thing, then you're fairly narrow-minded and you're going to miss out on all of the wonderful diversity in life. Plus, most people think that those type of people are dicks, so there's that as well. Look, the fact is that some people won't ever approve of who you are no matter what you do. You can either resist that fact or you can find peace of mind by accepting it. And also that doesn't mean that you try to be something that you're not. Instead, it means that you seek out the people who respect and value you for who you are. And that leads to my next point, building a strong support network matters. Because having kind and supportive people you can talk to and be completely open and honest with really is important. Whether it's friends, family, co-workers, teachers if you're at school, maybe even a professional like a counselor or therapist, the whole point here is to find people who respect and value you for who you really are, and who support you and who you can support in return. And when you find those people, celebrate them, because true kindness is like gold in that it's super valuable and it goes with pretty much everything. Okay, next, be true to yourself. Because if you try to be someone or something that you're not, or you try to act a certain way just to fit in, you're actually betraying yourself. Think of it this way. There are roughly 8 billion of us on this ball of rock hurtling through space, and you are a totally unique individual. There is not a single person on Earth who is completely 100% the same as you, and that is your superpower. Being your true self allows you to tap into all of the things that make you unique, and it actually helps you to be better at what you do. Don't ever try to change yourself to please someone else. Okay, next, communication matters. So many of the conflicts and challenges in the show could have been resolved by just talking about things. Sure, it would probably make for boring television, but in life, it makes much more sense to communicate more so that you can dial down the drama. Because in real life, less drama equals more peace of mind. And the other thing is that when you communicate your feelings, then you can find out where you stand. Like when Charlie asks Nick about who he has a crush on, and that leads to them taking their relationship to the next step. Look, I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, people, so if you haven't watched the show, just go and watch it already. But speaking of communication, if you are struggling with your feelings, then talking to someone really does help. Because the more you talk about it, the easier it gets. You don't have to go through challenges alone, and nor should you. And I will say that for anyone who has read the Heartstopper books, which I ended up devouring in the space of a week after watching the show for the first time, you'll know that there's some stuff that happens later in the books where talking about your feelings and your struggles, especially with mental health, is really, really super important. I won't give too much away in case you haven't read them, and hopefully we'll get another season of the show on Netflix, which will probably cover a lot of that stuff anyway. And so then, as a bonus point, no matter what age you are, it's good to feel represented. It really is nice to see your experiences represented on screen in a healthy and positive way, and that's why representation matters. I just had a whole conversation about that this morning with my partner of 26 years, which is really weird because I'm obviously only 24. Look, we certainly didn't see a lot of positive experience represented when we were younger, and it's nice to see a story being told about love that doesn't involve tragedy or heartbreak. Sometimes people fall in love and are actually best friends at the same time. And so it really is nice to just feel seen. Because after all, don't we all just want to feel seen? To know that we matter? And I think that's why Heartstopper has become so massive so quickly. Because even if your life experiences are different to those of the characters that have been beautifully created by Alice Oseman, who wrote the books and the TV script, there are still lots of things that we have in common with one another. And when it all boils down to it, we all just want to be loved and appreciated for being ourselves. I'd love to know what you think, so let me know in the comments below. And speaking of being true to yourself, that's something I talked about in this video where I explored how being weird and authentic helps your mental health. So click the link to watch it next. And subscribe to my channel for more weekly videos about better mental health. Plus check out my weekly podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health. It's linked in the description below. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take care and talk to you next time.